What's going on, everybody? It's your boy DMV back with another one. And it's been a while since we've had one of these videos. And, quite frankly, I was starting to become a subject matter expert in doing the film analysis. And as you guys know, throughout the year, we're going to do a lot more of those film breakdowns that you guys love so much. So we'll keep that going. Right now, we're going to switch it up, and I'm going to actually do a follow up to my video about how the Cowboys are better off without Kellen Moore. Now, this isn't the witch hunt video that you guys think it is. And a lot of people feel like I was really, just using Kellen Moore as a crutch to Dak Prescott. That wasn't the intent at all, really. A lot of people don't realize, too, when it comes to football, that it can be more than one person's fault. I was explaining to somebody how on the pick where Gallup kind of pulled up, how it was Dak's fault, but it was also Gallup's fault. But a lot of people just want to place blame on one person. But when you're in that film room, when you're on a football team, when you're in the locker room, you understand that it's a team sport, and that sometimes it might be somebody didn't execute something the way that they should have, or it might be multiple people, or it might be the coach, the players too. See, a lot of times we'll watch film, and a lot of times we'll think we'll understand something, but we don't know what the scheme is, or what was called behind it. And it might leave a player out to dry, or the other way around, where a coach might have called something and it wasn't executed properly, but it makes it look like it was, on the coach. So with Kellen Moore, I think that it had ran its course, not necessarily from a production standpoint, but when you keep doing the same things over and over, and there isn't really any improvement there, as far as, I'm looking at the San Francisco game and being able to get over the hump, you have to be able to self-scout your own team. And when you're self-scouting your own team, you got to be able to say, okay, we need to get better here. And I believe that Mike McCarthy and staff believe that in order for this team to be what they're going to be, we're going to have to operate out of 12, 13 personnel. We're also going to have to put a system in place. See, last year wasn't friendly to the personnel that we had, and I don't know if. All right, let me break it down this just like this, right? Like, look at the defensive side of the ball, right? When Dan Quinn first started, Dan Quinn didn't have the tools necessary or that he needed. He had certain guys at certain positions, but we had to uproot the defense in order to get it to the point that it is now, to where it's creating depth, okay? On the offensive side of the ball with Kellen Moore, sure, it was putting up numbers when Dak Prescott was quarterbacking, but we weren't creating depth. There was no real system in place. There wasn't anything that you could say that was the Cowboys' identity. And I think that oftentimes Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy butted heads, philosophically, as Mike McCarthy had put it. And as the head coach, it's up to you to make everything come together. It's up to you to make it one cohesive unit. It's not an offense and a defense and a special teams, but everybody is one, and they work together. So sometimes your offense might be helping the defense out by calling plays that might pin the other team backwards, and we're playing the field position battle. I think that that's part of the game that we were missing. I think that, situationally, the Cowboys could have been better in certain spots. And also, I do believe this. I don't really believe in. I believe in your quarterback being the most important part of your team, but I also believe in creating or having a system to where it helps your quarterback, if that makes sense. So the quarterback owns the system, but the system is friendly to the quarterback. So I'll give an example. When Cooper Rush was quarterbacking, Dallas operated out of 12 and 13 personnel quite a bit. They made the run game. The run game had to marry the passing game, and it allowed Cooper Rush. We weren't world beaters when Cooper Rush was quarterbacking. We were just playing as one unit. So the run game and situationally how we were calling the game allowed for the defense to get the rest that they needed in order to take over the game. We were winning games with defense, guys. Zeke Elliott was a pertinent part of that before he got injured. Zeke Elliott was having a pretty solid season up until that point. Whether people want to believe it or not, whether they want to look at statistics of him being hurt or not, we were running the football and we were doing it well out of play action, out of 12 and 13 personnel. And as I was able to break out in that 49er game, 12 and 13 personnel throughout the year had been very, very friendly to the type of team that we had because we didn't have the receivers. Michael Gallup was on one leg, and Noah Brown he had a breakout season for Noah Brown. But in all actuality, we really just had CeeDee Lamb, and Jalen Tolbert couldn't touch the field. But you had young tight ends out there that were making plays when Dalton Schultz was out. When Dalton Schultz and Dak came out, you could see a difference in what Kellen was trying to do. Now, I'm not sure if Kellen was auditioning, but he liked to win a certain way. His philosophy was to kind of spread it out and to be able to, and air it out quite a bit. Kind of how he did at Boise State. Kind of how my guy Tuck pointed out how the offense's identity was closer to Boise State's identity. So I think that it was best to move on, not from a production standpoint, but from a philosophical standpoint as far as having one cohesive unit. Because if Kellen Moore was still here, it was going to continue to be the offense and the defense, and everything needed to marry together. So with Schottenheimer here, a lot of people don't know, Schottenheimer helped chime in and help the defense come up with the game plans that they did. From an offensive standpoint, he was able to go into those rooms and pretty much tell them what offensive coordinators were thinking. And that helped the defense. Our offensive coordinator with Kellen Moore, Kellen was more of a guy that really, you can kind of tell from interviews and stuff like that, he really didn't know what made players tick. Kellen to his offense, they were just X's and O's, and you could kind of tell that there wasn't really any personal relationships with them or the defense. And so I say all that to say this, right? Kellen Moore is going to be very successful in LA. He's going to be very successful because they have the type of players that's going to, help his offense and what he sees and the way that he sees the game. They have the type of weapons over there that can make that happen. Keenan Allen is an excellent route runner, so the option system will be very good for him. Williams is kind of like Gallup, but he's more healthy. Honestly, I'll just leave it at that. I ain't gonna compare the two or anything like that. But then you got Eckler coming out of the backfield, doing things like that. So Kellen Moore, and he's not gonna have the pressure of Dallas. So he's probably gonna do pretty well out in LA. And we'll see them at some point during the season. So it'll be cool to see that. But this right here, in my opinion, is a make or break for Dak Prescott. Now, I didn't really want to talk about it, but it really is. You know what I'm saying? Because now they're trying to get to the root of the problem. So they got rid of Amari Cooper. Oh, well, damn. It wasn't the fact that we couldn't get our $20 million guy the football. The offense still looked damn near the same when we got to the 49ers, right? It still looked the same for the most part. Now, you could say before Tony Pollard went out, but when Tony Pollard was out there, we was having some struggles as well. We might have found the rhythm a little bit, but that's neither here nor there. But we got rid of Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper was a scapegoat. Y'all said y'all could win with these receivers. That wasn't the case. Now Kellen Moore had to go. Next up is quarterback, right? So if Dak can't really perform in this West Coast system, this Texas Coast system that they put in, and now that they're building around the quarterback, then you're going to have to look and see, all right, man, how long do we have him under contract, and do we get a quarterback in here for the future? I mean, it's happened, and it's happened to great quarterbacks. It happened to Brett Favre. It happened to Aaron Rodgers. It's happened to Tom Brady in New England. They always brought in quarterbacks. So I think that you'll find out right now as you build the system, if Dak is the problem, you got a guy that you can come in and help. You're going to have a guy that can come in and do the West Coast is what the next plan will probably be, which is probably why they didn't extend him. You know what I'm saying? That's an option. You know, that's an option as to why they didn't extend him. But yeah, man, I'm not going to say that the season is all on Dak's shoulders, but I am saying that Dak is on the hot seat and he will be examined this year. And I think that we will see what he's made of. Different system, different philosophy. The good ones and the great ones can adapt. So we will see how Dak getting out of that system, how he can adapt. He's adapted to different play callers, but this will be a different system and philosophy based on what he's had in the NFL. And I can't really wait. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what he's made of. But let me know what you guys think of in the comment section, man. I'm out. Peace.